Good morning, Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, and good morning to everyone out there, wherever you may be. Please join as we sing the opening congregational song this morning, Om Shanti. Let there be peace in my mind. Let there be peace in the earth. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace within my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace within my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace within my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace within my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti. Peace within my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace within my heart, God and only God I live to see. Peace within my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace within my heart, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti. Peace within my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace within my heart, God and only God I live to see. Peace within my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace within my heart, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Won't you sing it with me, everybody? Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. When there is peace in my mind, there will be peace in the earth. All right. Now, I am going to introduce, get it right, Robert Leeds. Yes, Robert. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks to our inspiring musicians today, Cozy Arrington on vocals and the fierce Deb Santa Maria on keyboards, both longtime friends of the center whom we adore. Happy Sunday and welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where the weather is always perfect, the food is delicious, and everyone is beautiful. Yes, this is where we share spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. Welcome to everyone joining us today as we continue a little longer in the Zoomiverse. More on that in a moment. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to anyone who is here for the very first time on a Sunday morning. If you'd like to connect with us, please send an email to Constance Chapman, our administrative coordinator, at constance@oaklandcsl.org. To create the best experience possible for everyone in this virtual environment, we request that your sweatpants match your bunny slippers. Oh, sorry, that's for my meetings at work. Never mind. I invite you to please take a moment to make sure your Zoom microphone and video are muted and turned off. Now let's take a moment to bless our children everywhere that they are. We honor all our youth and children in our community and the world. We love you. We see you. You are Spirit's gift to us. Thank you for being in our lives, and so it is. Here are some of the soul-nourishing events coming up in our spiritual community. Next Wednesday, practitioner, gentleman, and scholar, the utterly debonair Christopher Brown is speaking on allowing for differences. Meditation at 6:30 and service at 7. Have you wanted to use writing as a spiritual practice? Do you use writing now and want to take it to another level? Then join Reverend Catherine Sachs for a six-week journey, writing as spiritual practice. The class is in person, woohoo, at the center on Tuesdays and starts July 13th at 6:30 p.m. The cost is a very reasonable $125, and you can sign up on the current classes page of the website. Okay, so here's the scoop on our Sunday services moving back into the sanctuary. Last week, we announced a possibility that it could be happening today, but it's taking a little more preparation. During the pandemic, we upgraded some of our software and camera equipment to be able to live stream with better quality and to also live stream with Facebook and YouTube. Our tech team is now working diligently to learn the new systems. We will announce within a week or two when we will switch from Zoom to live stream and in person. It won't be much longer. We humbly beseech your patience and watch for announcements. We will also be having more information for you in a couple of weeks on the next steps for the community regarding our next minister. Reverend Sunny Cantrell Smith has been a wonderful support for us over the past 2 months, and we will forever be grateful for her wisdom and caring. An important save the date you see on the screen now. We have a date for Reverend Jeff's celebration of life. It will be Saturday, September 4th at 11 a.m. That is Labor Day weekend. We know some folks travel that weekend, but we chose a date that worked the best for Reverend Jeff's family. And if for some reason you can't make it, please know that it will be live streamed and or recorded and posted online. As always, for information on all that is going on in your Oakland Center, visit our website, oaklandcsl.org, and check the Village News for links to these and other activities. Now, please read along with me as I read our vision and mission statement. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. I love that picture of lavender, fields of lavender. And so it is. So happy summertime, stay safe, have a wonderful week. And it is my pleasure now to hand the baton to this week's pulpit assistant, Queen o' the Bayou, Elena Hutchinson.
Thank you, Robert. And good morning, OCSL. Okay, the host muted me. I am unmuted, I think. All right. So, good morning, OCSL. We have, as usual, 2 readings this morning. The first is from Ernest Holmes. We are here to see that spirit creates all things by the power of its own word, and that we are spiritual beings. We are here to hear the inner voice of truth, which is ever proclaiming the freedom of all life, the eternal unity of God with humanity. And our second reading is from Alice Walker, The Color of Purple. I am an expression of the divine, just like a peach is, just like a fish is. I have a right to be this way. Now, as we move into prayer, let's just take a breath, settle into our seats and into our God selves. There is only one presence, one power, one beingness that is only freedom, that creates out of itself, that delights in its creation, that calls us to break the bonds of our human conditions, to free ourselves from mere circumstances, to join our minds with the one mind in celebration of all that is light and eternal and free. It is that beingness that whispers to us, let go, let go. I am that. I am the one being called and the one who is calling. And as I know this for myself, I know it for each person here, each person within the sound of my voice. We are, each of us, the answer to Spirit's call to be all of who we were meant to be. I bless this service, this coming together, this unique experience of the oneness. I bless Reverend Geri as she uses her words today to lift our consciousness, as she invites us to soar. I bless each person who is participating in this service, our meditator, our musicians, our host, our amazing technical team, everyone who's lending their presence to this gathering in every way, our administrative support team back in the back office, everyone who is lending their presence to this service now or later. And bless Reverend Sunny as she holds and loves our community. I bless all of our brothers and sisters in CSL who are holding our community in prayer during this time of transition. I bless all our practitioners and volunteers and every person who lends their energy and their presence to our village. As I speak my word for this community, I know that we are today truly blessed, that at this moment, as our old story finds a resting place in our hearts and our new story begins to gather itself into form, that we are poised in that sacred space between one creation and the next, that emptiness, that void, where there is nothing but possibility, where there is nothing but peace. Here, in this space, we loosen our grip just a bit on the old, on our worries about the new, on our impatience with the waiting. We pause, we breathe. We notice our oneness with the breath of God, that breath that is the wind lifting our wings, that breath that is the Spirit of God whispering to us, you are free. We are so grateful to be here, right now, to embrace that truth. With the breath of God flowing through me, I speak my word. I let go, I let God, and together we fall fearlessly into the arms of Spirit. And so it is. And now I turn this over to our amazing musicians.
All right, everybody. You know that you are the place. I am the place. We are the place. And this is the place where God shows up. Right? Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decision when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. Nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I want to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and I ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. Nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. This is the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. Don't you sing it with me, here we go. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Hey. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. This is the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. This is the place where God shows up. Yes, peace and blessings. All righty. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce our own beloved, Reverend Geri Carder.
Oh my gosh. You're bringing me back to my ordination with that song. I loved it, Cozy, and I love you, Cozy and Deb. You are so amazing and such a big part of my spiritual journey through music, through song, through friendship. Thank you both so much. Just breathing that in, that song, I am the place where God shows up. It's so true. We are the place, and we are here right now showing up. Thank you all for being a part of this day. Sunday is June 27th, and our global theme this year is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And the theme for this month is the Soul's Call, and we've been doing a lot of work this month with that theme. And the talk title today is The Soul's Call to Freedom. So I'm honored to be here. I really was anticipating being the first person to speak in the sanctuary, but you know what? There's a better plan and we need a little more time. So I know that when we all get there together, it's going to be absolutely perfect. So thank you all for your patience. What a month of celebration it's been. We've got Pride, we've got Juneteenth, we're honoring freedom, the summer solstice, Father's Day. We are in such a rich time in history. There's so much recognition of good God stuff coming through from all of these celebrations. And from our fabulous speakers this month, oh my gosh, we had Reverend Sunny. She talked about being pushed by pain and into personal breakthroughs. We had Reverend Savannah talk to us about leaning into our discomfort and forgiveness, a beautiful spiritual practice. Reverend Rafe taught us about the spectrum of self-expression and about oneness, not sameness. Reverend Sunshine Michelle was with us on last Wednesday's satsang, and her message was, I hear and act upon my divine inner messages without hesitation. That's truly trusting spirit, pure trust. And we are such a blessed community. Praise God for that. We are so blessed. And we are birthing newness, not sameness, as we move forward into a whole new Oakland Center for Spiritual Living that is awaiting us to show up and say yes to spirit. So do I hear a yes in the house? I'm going to tell you a little story. Recently, alone at my home, I was inspired to follow the spiritual mandate, dance like nobody's watching. I let loose and felt young and free, but it turns out my neighbor was watching, and he said he thought I was being attacked by bees. Can you imagine that? Well, I'm going to share with you now before we get into the service, what I was dancing all about. So let's take a moment. I want you to get up and move. Please get up and move. Here we go. If you wanna be a girl in the picture, well, you gotta meet a girl. Open your eyes, it's time you realize now is the time to shine. Baby, you're a ghost, and everybody knows you're shining any close from your soul. Sugar, you're a star, even with your flaws, you're unstoppable. Can't nobody
is the solution. Be a part of this revolution. Let me hear you say revolution. The category is revolution. Come on, bring it, revolution. Come on, revolution. Revolution. We got revolution. Can't nobody bring you down when you're high. All you got to do is love yourself. If you just believe you're the one you need, you don't need nobody else. Get up, if you love yourself. Get up, if you love yourself. Get up, if you love yourself. Get up, if you love
Love yourself, Billy Porter. So do we love ourselves a little bit more here this morning? Did that get you up and moving? It certainly did me. So that's what I mean by being attacked by bees. Anyhow, I love that. I love our musical inspiration all the way around. I think you started it, Cozy, and so Billy Porter added to it for us this morning. So regarding the soul's call, I'd like to open from a quote from Richer Living on page 74.1. Communion with the Spirit is one of the greatest privileges of life. By communing with God, we do not mean telling the infinite what to do or how to do it, for that is talking at God, rather than communing with God. By communing, we mean silently entering into divine harmony and beauty until we feel that harmony and beauty in our own souls, in our own minds. This, to me, is the meaning of communing with God. On the other hand, there's freedom. Freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Freedom is a choice. It's our choice. Yes. So, this monthly context for June may have been shared earlier, but I really want to share again. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." The soul's call is this deeply intimate, challenging, exponentially powerful, and globally beneficial work we are invited to do daily. Globally beneficial because when any one of us awakens, it affects and evolves the global consciousness. When any one of us awakens. For me, tapping into the energy field, the transformation and shifts happen during this time of awakening. We are opening ourselves up to the divine through meditation and other spiritual practices, such as affirmation and intention setting and visioning and spiritual writing, journaling, the list goes on and on. It's time to awaken to the spirit within through these practices. And today we talk about Namaste, which is a clarion call for the soul to express its beingness freely, boldly, unapologetically, and to be fully what already is. We must recognize the divine in ourselves, emancipate ourselves, and be the metaphysicians who heal ourselves first. And it's always, always about healing ourselves first. I love Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was an American abolitionist and political activist. Born into slavery, Tubman escaped and subsequently made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people, including family and friends. Using the network of anti-slavery activists and safe houses known as the Underground Railroad. She could not have done any of this until she freed herself from any false beliefs that suffering was her path. One more time, she could not have done any of this until she freed herself from any false beliefs that suffering was her path. No, it wasn't hers or any of the others she helped free. You've heard this term in our teaching, suffering is optional. Suffering is optional. We don't have to suffer. She took this idea to a whole new level, in my view. And what an amazing woman and an amazing story. You see, there's no easy way out. It is always our work to do in consciousness first to make anything happen. In Michael Singer's Untethered Soul, page 89, he says, the prerequisite to true freedom is to decide that you do not want to suffer anymore. You must decide that you want to enjoy your life and that there is no reason for stress, inner pain, or fear. It's our choice if we wish to remain in fear, pain, or suffering, or free ourselves from the shackles that hold us back. Again, it's really totally up to us. And we have talked a lot about evolutionary vision of the Centers for Spiritual Living Global Vision, meaning we see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively, we are all called to a higher state of consciousness and action. So today we're talking about the principle of freedom. And freedom is a core concept in our teaching. Freedom is the birthright of every individual. Not just you because you are rich or me because I am white. We are free to choose and create our experience of life. We are free, all of us, not just some of us. So let us remember these tips for making our way to more freedom. As the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. As the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. This is in line with the teaching that everything is from within out. When the soul knows freedom, the law will free the body, and the outer life will express health, happiness, and success. All things work for good. All things work for good. Even that which we call not so good is salutary, leading us to the way, the truth, and the life. And as we often say and talk about, there are no mistakes to be made. There are only lessons to be learned. And that's what helps us when we have struggles or strife. It propels us to a greater being, a greater way of being. So from our Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes says on 485, suffering should teach us a lesson which would cause us to refrain from making more mistakes. It carries a blessing with it when we learn how to garner knowledge and experience. So we do not have to suffer, or as we say, and as I just said, suffering is optional. It's up to us. And we have heard these words throughout this month. This has been a powerful month of teaching. We've heard these words from Dr. Michael Beckwith. The pain pushes until the vision pulls. This is a wonderful reminder to make good use of our pain because something is pulling us to a greater self-awareness, a greater experience. This is an opportunity to flex our spiritual muscles and strengthen our understanding of the power that resides within us. Giving you an example of something that could be very much a struggle or painful, I want to share with you again. Well, I want to share with you, actually, I had a major anniversary last Saturday. And of course, our beloved Dorothy Mendez had to call me and wish me happy anniversary. And I wasn't even thinking about it in the moment. But my brother George and I have a 1-year anniversary from our kidney transplant. And we are happy, healthy, whole, and complete. And I contribute all of that to just faith and trust in the divine. I contribute all of that to not let me be pushed by pain, but let me be open to the truth of my beingness and understanding that Spirit's always got this. Spirit's always got whatever's happening in our lives. And as I surrendered, everything unfolded beautifully and to perfection. So I'm so grateful. And I'm so grateful for all the loving support of our community. So moving on, I have some important points for us to remember. The first one, be yourself. The world will adapt. It's not necessary to put on a facade. Just be yourself. In the Netflix documentary, Disclosure, transgender and non-binary people discuss what it was like to grow up seeing so few images of themselves in the media. The few roles transgender actors received were often for prostitutes or psychopaths or characters who were hiding their biological gender identity. Well, today, transgender people have more visibility and acceptance than ever before. Though there is still progress to be made, the universe has shifted to correspond with the community's demand to express themselves authentically by normalizing the they-them pronouns, expanding our definition of gender and sexuality. Authentically, we are an embodiment of the divine. And last week, Reverend Rafe shared with us a deeper understanding of his process. And I know it's so important for us to embrace diversity in all of its richness. Number 2, we weren't born to fit in. We were born to be our unique selves. In the song, Born This Way, Lady Gaga sings, and of course, I'm not going to sing it. I don't have that beautiful voice that Savannah has, but Reverend Savannah, so I won't sing this one, I'll spare you. But the song goes, I am beautiful in my way, because God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. So regardless of what anyone says, our unique gifts have a purpose. It's our responsibility to be ourselves. The more we express ourselves authentically, the more we inspire others to do the same. This is why Science of Mind allows us the freedom to be ourselves. This is how we create a world that works for everyone, to be ourselves while showing unconditional love and acceptance for others who are expressing themselves authentically. I have to say, there's such a richness for me in deepening this experience and understanding by showing up for everyone, being present to whatever is, being a good listener. And as Reverend Sunny says, listen intently and hold my heart in your hand when you are listening to me. I love that analogy and that feeling. Third, mistakes are blessings that serve as an opportunity for a lesson learned. The mistake learned from the civil rights movement of the 1960s is being used as guidance for the civil rights revolution we are living in today. The technology we've grown accustomed to, our cell phones, our computers, electric cars, were all developed from lessons learned of the past. The idea is already there. We just need to tap into the idea and then it happens. It's like affirmations or visioning. It's already in that universal experience and waiting to be birthed. People around the world are showing unconditional love and acceptance to their LBGT plus loved ones after learning from the mistakes of previous generations. So, things are happening. Shift is happening in all aspects of our diversity. And I am so glad to live in this day and age to be able to bear witness to all that is taking place. Of course, there's more to do, but we are resilient beings. We are resilient religious scientists, and we're up for that support, loving support, and for that process. It works us, and it's beautiful to support as allies to one another. So I have a few questions to ask you. Actually, I'm going to just put them in the chat along with a couple of links. I'm going to put the Billy Porter link in the chat in hopes that you might take a look at it later and just let those bees chase you. I'm also going to put another link in the chat that that I wanted to share, but I couldn't do both. So I chose Billy Porter, and I'd love for you to look at it. It's a transgender piece that's really amazing interview with Katie Couric. And so take a look at that when you can. But my closing questions for you to ponder throughout the week are, how often do I show up authentically? If I was living a life of freedom, how would my life look? What's my soul's desire? One way to connect to your authentic self is to meditate on the most authentic version of yourself. What activity are you performing? How are you dressed? What does your speech sound like? What would it feel like if you showed up as your authentic self in every space you were in? What we want the world, let me just rephrase that. We are what the world has been waiting for. Any challenges we've ever faced in our lives have prepared us for this moment now. And now is the time to commit to showing up authentically and choose to live the life you've always imagined. The more of us who choose to live authentically, the more we inspire others to do the same. When we show unconditional love and acceptance to others, we are serving by example. If we want to see more unity, peace, and joy in the world, we have to commit to experiencing these qualities in our own lives. Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see." And Rumi said, "Wherever you stand, be the soul of that place." And I add authentically to both of those quotes. So it is time to, if you can believe it, I was going to launch the Billy Porter song right before the prayer. I'm so glad I didn't, because it really is a jumpy, fun song. And the prayer I want to be sacred. And so I'm asking us all to go within right here and now, closing your eyes if that feels comfortable, and settling into the space that you're in, knowing that you are in a place of peace and comfort. So let us take a deep breath together, inhaling only love, and exhaling that same love out into life and into the world. Inhaling love, exhaling love. How good it is. On this day, we rise up. We rise up as a result of this month's celebration of Juneteenth and Pride and the Oakland Pride Festival that I hear is going on right now. We rise up to new opportunities to support and become allies. Let us rise up in unity and oneness together. And how good it is to know that we are a part of this new day and that there is only one power, one presence that is all knowing and wise, boundless, infinite, and everywhere present. Whatever name we choose to call it, and I choose to call it God this day, knowing that we can never be separate from our God, from the one, that we are always one with it. How reassuring that is. So let us embrace all the qualities of peace and love and harmony, wholeness and joy and goodness, unity and compassion, and so much more. All those qualities, there are qualities too. So I speak a word now for this month's nonprofit partner, Emeryville Citizens Assist Program, ECAP. The program's mission is to provide food and housing, household furnishing, care, and compassion to those in need in Emeryville and the surrounding Bay Area communities. And for our planet, Mother Earth, I'd like to read from this month's Science of Mind magazine. David Suzuki had a beautiful quote in his piece on ecology and taking care of Mother Earth. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together, all things connected. This is Chief Seattle, 1854. So for our planet, Mother Earth, gratitude for her beauty and her resilience and our increasingly mindful stewardship of her. And blessing our youth and the youth of the world, knowing they are guided by the loving mind and heart of Spirit. And blessing all of those in service, creating a world that works for all. And let us just take a breath and breathe in love and comfort and healing for all those impacted by challenges in whatever form. And for our community beloveds, Evelyn Denise King, Tina Marie Scott, Barbara Williams, Jules Marie Green, Susie Bateman Sauce, mother of Jimmy Tuzel. We continue to hold in our hearts these beloveds and all that have been impacted by whatever life experiences are happening right here and right now, knowing that there is a healing energy taking place for us individually and for the collective. And continued peace and comfort for our beloved Reverend Jeff, and for all, including Allison, as she releases her mother, Eileen McKinsey, and for Chantal, Liana, family, and friends. We're knowing that the family and friends of all of these beloveds are held in our hearts, held in our prayers, knowing peace, knowing safety, knowing ease, and knowing that divine right action is always present. And take a moment now, please, to just go within and share the name or names of anyone on your heart that is in need of a prayer this day. Place their names into the sacredness of our service. And so as the names continue to be spoken, we know that God has got this and the more. So remaining in this amazing consciousness and knowing the power and presence of the divine, the perfection of one life, the life of God, I am so grateful to speak my word today, knowing that we are uplifted in consciousness each step of the way on our life's journey as we move throughout our day and into the week and just into the months to come, knowing more peace and love in our hearts. And as I let these words go into the universal law of mind, I know that we continue to be supported by a God that knows only good. As we continue to accept that good, I let it be now. And please join me in saying, and so it is. Amen. So I think we've got a slide coming up pretty soon because this is an amazing time of our service. This is our conscious giving time. And remember, please remember this. God knows no large or small. So whatever you can give from your heart, knowing that it not only supports our community at OCSL and it returns to you in magnificent ways as well. We're knowing a greater, grander, loving, more humanly kind experience for ourselves in our givingness. And let me once again remind us, we can't outgive God. Yes? So take your virtual gift to your heart and share with me in our affirmation today. The gift I give is God in action. It does good work in the world and blesses creation. And so it is. So there are lots of ways to give. For those of you who have auto deduction from pledging, beautiful. There's a donate button on our website. There's also a text and amount to give. And there's the good old mail. If you have a little extra cash you want to share with the center, we will certainly embrace it and love you up for it and know that it helps our community to continue to grow and prosper as we prepare to reopen. So it's now my honor to turn our service back over to the amazing Elena. Allie, you're on.
Thank you, Reverend Geri. So we want to thank everyone who participated today, our amazing musicians, Cozy Arrington and Deb Santamaria, the fierce Deb Santamaria. I want to thank our meditators, practitioner. My horoscope today says I was going to be tongue-tied. So our amazing meditator, practitioner, Susan Urquhart Brown, our host, Robert Leeds, our own Reverend Geri Carder. I told you she would invite us to soar. I didn't mention the dancing, but you know. And then our fearless and generous tech team. And speaking of generosity, we will have Upper Room today, hosted by our practitioner, Zoe DeMuro. Prayer is also available in other ways. We have a prayer hotline. The information is on our website. The phone number is there. It's under the tab that says Contact Us, and then about halfway down the page. In addition to one-on-one coaching sessions that are offered by our practitioners, several of our practitioners during COVID are offering shorter but free 30-minute coaching sessions. And that's also on the website under the practitioner tab. And now for our closing affirmation. I think we'll have a slide. And if your audio is muted, please feel free to read aloud with me. I consciously and confidently live my own truth. And now I think we're heading over back to our musicians.
Yes, hello everybody. It's time to let your light shine, right? Everybody knows this. Sing along with me. This little light of mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I'm wondering if we can see everybody. Can you open it up? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, everybody, I'm gonna let it shine, shine, shine. Everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Morning, noon, and night, what? Morning, noon, and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, morning, noon, and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Morning, noon, and night, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Come on with me, everybody, here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, there you are, let me see you. I'm gonna let it shine. Everybody, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh yeah, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time, let it shine.